The Indian Air Force's fighter jets in Australia for some of the largest multilateral exercises ever in the Asia-Pacific region.
First time I've ever flown with the Indian Air Force and their Su-30s, so it's an experience that I'll take away from Darwin and learn a lot from it.
Very rewarding experience. First time I'm participating in an international event, so it gives a lot of things to take away and exchange, good practices. It makes us even more confident that we are the same, so it's always good.
Today we got to take a pair of Indian Air Force Su-30s out with two of our Australian F-18s for basic fighter manoeuvring, which is essentially dogfighting. This year is the first year that the Indian Air Force have brought their Su-30s to exercise pitch black. We flew out to the airspace as a four-ship, split 1v1 dogfighting, and then came back to Darwin taking some photos on the way home.
It was a good experience. It was the first time I've flown with an F-18. So hornets look good in the air, good on the ground, good fun.
The Indians' processes, languages and procedures are very similar to ours. We sometimes have to clarify a few things, but for the most part they're identical.
So tomorrow onwards we are in the thick of it. A lot of good missions, high intensity flying. That's what we are looking forward to.
They call this Pitch Black 2018 some of the largest multinational war games in the world. 3 weeks of intense flying over the largest flying ranges anywhere. 4,000 personnel, 140 aircraft, participants from 16 nations, all flying with one purpose: reinforcing regional security in the critical Asia-Pacific region. For the Indian Air Force, Pitch Black 2018 is a first. It's the first time India is participating in these exercises. For India, the top-of-the-line Sukhoi Su-30 fighters will fly with and face off against the best of the West, including F-18 Hornet jets flown by the Royal Australian Air Force. Also flying in with the Indian Air Force, a giant C-17 transport and a C-130 Hercules tactical airlifter, which brought in as many as 145 Indian Air Force air warriors, including commandos of the Air Force's Garud Force. One of the key training opportunities during the exercises, air-to-air refueling. Not only did India's fighters need to refuel in the air to get to Darwin in Australia, the IAF fighters also trained in air-to-air refueling from the Royal Australian Air Force's KC-30, a complex procedure that needs a great deal of pilot skill. But taking on some of the best fighters in the world day and night is what Pitch Black 2018 is all about. An incredible opportunity for the IAF's top guns to hone their skills. Participating in the exercises are JAS 39 Gripen fighters from Thailand, an A400M transport from Malaysia, FA-18 Hornets from Australia, a C-130J from India, FA-18s from Malaysia, F-16s from Indonesia, F-15s from Singapore, India's Su-30 MKIs, among other aircraft. The key word in operations like this is interoperability. How do pilots from a host of countries with different aircraft, different training and different capabilities come together and participate in exercises? What's more, exercising with a large number of aircraft all at once in what is called a large force engagement. That is an incredible learning experience. For India, participating in exercises like Pitch Black 2018 is key to knowing just where our pilots stand when compared with some of the finest operators in the world. Some of the countries participating in these exercises are close strategic partners like France, the United States and Australia, countries which remain concerned at the dramatic growth of the Chinese armed forces in the Asia-Pacific region.
Welcome to the opening ceremony for exercise Pitch Black 2018.
This Pitch Black here in 2018 is the biggest one we've ever done. We've got about 140 aircraft from 16 different countries involved, about 4,000 people. One of the things that makes Pitch Black for us is the airspace we have available here in the top end. Given the number of aircraft we've got participating in this Pitch Black, that huge chunk of airspace is vital to us conducting as realistic operations as a coalition as we can.
This week is Fit Week, and that stands for Force Integration Training. And it's a week where we prepare our aircrew and aircraft for a larger scale employment by coordinating, getting used to operating in the local airspace, local procedures in interoperating. We've got lots of nations here from the United States, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, France. There's a couple of firsts for this pitch black. It's the first pitch black where we've had the Indian Air Force operating with us, and it's also the first time the French have brought their Rafale aircraft down to Australia. The missions vary. They all practice operating either here out of Darwin or out of RAF Tyndall and operating local procedures, coordinating with air traffic control. And then they'll go into the local airspace, probably with some air-to-air refuelling there, and then operating the airspace to the south of Darwin and the west of Tyndall, or to the north of Darwin, either doing from one-on-one air-to-air manoeuvring, four-ship versus other aircraft, kind of beyond visual range engagements, and also down at Delamere Air Weapons Range, dropping high explosive weapons, coordinating with forces on the ground there. We're lucky here in Australia and we have large amounts of airspace without large populations in them, but other countries don't have that experience. The airspace of pitch black is potentially the largest in the world, much bigger than any other nation, including ourselves, gets to operate in on a regular basis. And so this provides them with an excellent opportunity to come and experience that and operate without the constraints they otherwise would have to.
Pitch black involves military exercises not only in the air but also on the ground. Special forces will be deployed in para-drop operations of tactical transport aircraft for operations on the ground. India has brought in its Garud commandos who will also be participating in some of these exercises.
So as part of this exercise Pitch Black here at Batchelor Airfield south of Darwin, 4th Squadron Combat Control Element has conducted a parachute-enabled insertion onto the airfield itself for a survey, control and mark task for tactical air-land operations to follow.
India's participation in very high-level exercises like Pitch Black 2018 is part of a larger process of working with strategic partners. If the air forces of friendly partners are able to operate with one another, joint military operations could be possible. But for that to happen, India will need to define its strategic vision more clearly. Are these exercises meant only to hone the skills of the warfighters, or does India ever intend to deploy its air power abroad? Vishnu Shom for NDTV.